All right, guys, we're over here. We were just talking about Bo Nickal. I finished my diatribe about what should be next for Bo and how we did in the Contender Series. And welcome to the UFC, Bo. I did that whole routine and said who I don't want him to fight, which is some bum that we haven't heard of. Some guy with a light MMA record. I'm going to get in there and get the hardest guy he can possibly find. Now, that's hard to do. Like, that's an easy wish by me. But then I get confronted with the fact that the top guys don't want to do it, right? I have to get confronted with that. I continually forget that there's no sport that has more fake tough guys than this. Like, I don't think of Tom Brady as a tough guy, and neither do you guys. Right, he's handsome and he's successful. You don't think of him as a tough guy, but Tom Brady will step on the field on any Sunday against whoever the other team puts on, and he doesn't have to know ahead of time. He doesn't have to know if you're bringing your backup, you're bringing in this kid, you're upping somebody from the rock. He doesn't have to know. He will step on the field with anybody, and if you would like to change it on the fly, go ahead. Tom's still going to do his job. Just one example. But I'm in the sport of tough guys. I'm in the sport of fake tough guys. Bo Nickal is going to be back on December 10th. Okay, let me give you a quick riddle. Bo Nickal is going to be back on December 10th. Oh, by the way, he's going to be on the main card. Are you? You're a prize fighter. You think you're pretty good. You've dedicated your life. You want to be on the main card. Okay, here's a guy on the main card, and he doesn't have an opponent. Have you offered to be the opponent? Have you gone publicly and made your case? Have you gone privately and called up Shelby or Mick? Have you done anything to get yourself that spot? There's nothing more important than your placement on a card. Well, I'm out here trying to get into the top 10 of the rankings. No one cares. We don't know who's ranked what. We know who fights on television. Do you understand the difference? Bo Nickal has more fans and is getting a louder reception right now than a lot of guys that are in the top 10. There's a lot of guys in the top 10 that don't know if their next fight is on TV. Have I proven my point? Because we just went through this with Sugar Sean. Sugar Sean was the star at 135. He was getting beautiful placement. Former world champions were jerking the curtain for him 3 hours before the audience had even filed into the building. But those world champions didn't call out Sean. They could have got moved up. They didn't have to fight at the beginning of the night. Higher ranked guys are opening for Sean. And they could be mad and they could revolt and say, how dare you? How dare you put him in that spot over me? Look at my record. Look at what I've done. They could do that. And you know what? We'd get behind him. We would get behind that guy. He would be completely correct if he tried to get that fight. If that guy tried to get the fight, was ranked higher, couldn't get the fight, and then got put down here, we would be behind him. We would say that's not right. We would have a discussion. I don't know where that would go, but we'd test it. We don't even test it because you never tried to fight Sean. So right now, at 185 pounds on December 10th, I imagine that's probably not enough time for some of you fake tough guys. But for a couple of you that would like to get a paycheck by the end of the year, would you like to do it on television? Then let me stop you right there. What difference does it make who your opponent is? And if it does to you, if you're a bully that only takes fights that you think you can, I mean, if that's, you're not going anywhere anyway. Just show yourself now. Show yourself now so that right? Let's just weed this thing out right now. Because as much as I want to sit over here and say that Bo should have a tough fight, we can't get the tough guys to fight him. They'll find a reason, and you, the audience, will let them do it. You, the audience, will back up their reason. Never seen anything like it. In my life on the streets of West Lynn, if two guys and one guy turns and walks, we have our answer. It has always worked that way. The classmates are, well, you could have done it, but you just didn't feel like it. It's just, I've never seen it. That's all I'm saying. I just haven't seen it. Except now. Now in MMA, people can duck fights. They can dodge fights. They can not show up. They can call in sick. They can do a number of things. And the audience lets them. They don't have a problem with it. The rankings don't reflect it. Nobody does anything. So if you're a good fighter, if you have a dream, if you'd like to be on TV, there's a shot on December 10th. I'm giving you inside info. You don't know that Bo's fighting in the UFC on December 10th. You just learned that right now from me. Would you like to also fight on TV on December 10th? That's the question. And what should Bo be doing? Bo should be full steam with both barrels coming after Chimaev. Not maybe, not somebody else, not a title fight. Let me see what happens. Let me get along with the boys. I'm new here. Full steam over on Chimaev. Chimaev became a media sensation. And it was incredible the way it worked. He fights, and a week later he fights again, but it's at a different weight class. I mean, it was this incredible stroke of luck as far as marketing goes. He was very mysterious. He wasn't talking to a lot of people. He wasn't on the internet each day. It really worked well. I've never seen a marketing campaign work better than I did the Chimaev experiment. I just haven't seen it. But then Chimaev did more. When he did start speaking, he made it very clear. I'm the boss. I'm the top guy. Nobody would fight Chimaev. We couldn't get him matches. And he saw that, and he would go to the media, and he would let you know, and he would call people out. He would call out champions of 2 different divisions simultaneously. Oh, and by the way, those champions have never accepted. Just so you understand. They didn't wilt and back down. They had something to say to make bravado. They didn't accept. That's true. They could have and should have on the spot, because he wasn't qualified or ranked high enough to get the fight anyway. They should have accepted, but they didn't. And Chimaev backed everybody down. And nobody came after him. To this day, nobody is calling out Chimaev. Until Bo Nickal did it last night. And Bo should not let up. And the shoe is now on the other foot. Chimaev, who wanted to get over, and Chimaev, who wanted to get attention, he wanted to work his way up, was willing to fight anybody, but couldn't get guys to fight him. Now he's over. And now he has a choice to make. Do I do the same thing to Bo that everyone just did to me, which is, hey, kid, you're not worth my time? Do I try that? Maybe. Maybe. And if you can package it up just right. I mean, you guys let guys off the hook all the time. You guys have now accepted cowardice as part of our sport. And I by no means am saying that Chimaev wouldn't accept. Perhaps he already has. Bo called him out almost 12 hours ago. Perhaps when Chimaev wakes up, he is going to come right back after Bo. I don't know. But now it's in the UFC's hands, who is highly unlikely to make that fight, which is the whole reason that both guys should accept, just like the champions that wilted publicly. 2 guys, 2 champions, 2 different weight classes. Nobody accepted. So I will be very interested how Chimaev handles this. Chimaev could accept Bo, demand Bo come right back after Bo. He could put Bo on his heels going, whoa, hey, I'm Mr. Chimaev. I'm sorry. I got a little over my skis. Maybe. I mean, that's the game. That's what we're doing here. Whoever wins that wins the headline. Whoever wins the headline gets the bigger opportunities. That's the game. But Bo has not called out Chimaev, and he should not let up. He should stay on him nonstop. We don't know if Chimaev's coming back at 85. We don't know if he's going at 170. That fight is extremely unlikely to be booked. It is much more likely that Bo fights a guy that we've never heard of. Much more likely. I mean, you should bet on it. Those calls are probably already going out right now. Hey, Joe Schmo. Hey, John, whatever. But we can't say that Chimaev's never been called out. We can't say that anymore. Because Bo just called him out. It was the right move. It was absolutely the right move. But he should stay on. It worked for Chimaev. I'm just offering you a recent example where Chimaev called out everybody. He kept getting headlines. He kept getting no's. But he kept getting talked about. Precisely what Bo should be doing. And based on the fact that he did it last night, 10 minutes after he got a contract in the UFC, I would say it's exactly what Bo is doing.